Everyone, now I am excited. Oh, what's the thing you love doing most, Mr. Robinson, in the world? I hear you ask. And the answer to that one is revision. Because I love knowing nothing. And then by the end of like the 45 minutes or whatever I've done a revision, I know I've got this stuff in the bag, in my head, right? And I'm going to show you how this works for me. Now, there are different ways, right? So you're going to look at what I say here, and then you're going to have a little go at it with your tutor. And then tomorrow and the day after, you'll hear different revision techniques, and you can pick which one you like. Okay, so look at this. This is some marketing that I've got here, which is to do with business studies. And I want to learn that entire sheet if I can, right? So do I try and just skim read the whole thing? No, there is 0 point to skim reading it. You will get nothing by just going along and going, okay, I've read it, yeah, brilliant. Because about 10 minutes later, none of that stuff's in your brain. So the thing that I've learned over the years is repetition is the key. And they have this technique called look, cover, check. And this is what I'm going to show you too. So look, I've got the knowledge organizer. I've got a piece of paper, and that's all I need. Are you ready? Are you quietly excited about this? Of course you are. Right, so I'm going to start off with the first bit, which is about, if you see up there's unique selling point. Now, my friend called Lawrence used to do this. He used to go, unique selling point. Oh, how do I do it so you can see my hand? Oh, who cares, right? You're about to see some of the worst handwriting you've ever seen. Right, unique selling point. And then he would go, a feature of your product, and he'd write out the whole thing, blah, 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 like that, right? And he'd keep on going. What's the problem, do you think, with him? So I'm going to get you to pause it just for a second, teacher, and say to the class, right, everyone think for a couple of seconds, maybe like 5 seconds on your own. What is the problem of just copying out the information? Right, pause the video, have a think. Okay, right, so you've paused the video. The problem is the time it takes to just copy it out is completely wasted. So Lawrence used to have a perfect version of the sheet on another sheet of paper, but he was just wasting time. So instead of doing this, what I do instead is I start trying to take the information and make it smaller and only keep the bits that matter. So unique selling point is actually called a USP. So I'd remember USP and I'd do that. And then I'd think, right, what are the key words, a feature of your product that makes it different? So I'm going to say unique selling point is a feature and then different. I'm not going to try and write the whole thing because I'm wasting time. And then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I want an example. So I'll put e.g. What's another product that feature makes it different? I'm going to say like Pringles, where they kind of got the weird shape. So do you mean like, so it might be a any sort of example, like I don't try to think of another example of a product, like Toblerones with its shape. So I might put, I can't do Toblerone because I can't spell Toblerone. So let's go for a smart car because they're like small, aren't they? Right, there we are. So I have remembered all this, and I think it's in the bag. So how do I now make sure I know more? So I'm going to go to the next one, and it's brand name, right? So I write brand name, and then I look at it and I think, okay, there are 3 things they say are good about brand name, and it makes it so you can recognise. Can't spell recognise. Recognize. Whoops. What we're doing. Recognise. What else? Make it stand out. Price. Stand out. Now, what you'll notice is, would you say my handwriting is neat in this? No, it doesn't matter. This is all about getting the information to your head. So I thought to myself, right, brand name, recognise, stand out, price. So how do you then make sure it's in the bag? So I go again and I cover up the information I've done and I try and think about what can I remember. So I remember the first bit was about a USP, wasn't it? Because a USP was a unique selling point, right? And I was trying to think, what were there were some key words I remembered. I remember it was something about it being a unique feature, and it was something about making it different, right? And then I had an example which was smart car. So now I've done that a second time and I've covered over. I think that one's fairly in the bag. And then I think about the second thing that I talked about, which was brand name. Okay, yeah. So it was something about, I remember something about price. Was it? Oh, you can charge higher price. Something about recognise. I can't remember the other one. So that means that I've remembered all that information, but I can't remember one bit. So I look back on the sheet and think, what can I not remember? Price, recognise. Oh, it needs to stand out. Right? So now I know, and if I had a second colour of pen, if I was organised, which I'm not, I would try and get that bit in red because stand out was a bit I forgot. So then what you do, right? So you've learnt those 2 bits. You then go to the third bit, which is about packaging, right? And you do the same thing with packaging. And then once you've done the same thing with packaging, you then check yourself on all 3 bits. So say with packaging, for example, it is, so package, I don't bother writing the whole thing out, sorry. Packaging is like that. I don't know how these teachers do this. I can't organise myself. But there we are. Okay, it's about being fresh. It's about protect. What else? Attract, and then display. So I'm thinking about that a minute. So I'll look back at those things and think, right, I want to keep it fresh, protect, attract, display. Right, so I've now learnt 3 things, but have I really learnt it? No. So I go onto another piece of paper, and then I do it again. I go through all 3 bits. So I try and do the USP bit. I'll do the thing about brand while I'm covering this bit up. That's a D. A brand. And then I'd also do about, what's the third one I was talking about? Oh yeah, packaging. Now, if you remember last time, there's a bit of brand that I forgot. So I try and write that first. So I remember, what was a bit of brand that I forgot? Oh, it was about standing out, wasn't it? Out. And then I try and do the whole thing again and see. And then once I go through the whole thing again, I might miss something out. I'll look back on the sheet and I'd write the bit I missed out like 3 times. Like I think stand out, stand out, stand out. Okay, so I've now, in my head, gone through everything in that top box, right? I am now thinking I know that. So I'd go downstairs to my mum back in the day. I won't do it anymore because I'm 39 and I don't live with my mum. But anyway, I'd go downstairs and I'd say, right, can you test me on this bit? She would test me and she'd say, right, you know it well enough. Now go on to the next bit. I would then do the second bit, which was market segmentation. And once I've done the second bit, just like the way I did the first bit, I then test myself on both. Then I'd go downstairs and check with my mum. But the key is the repetition of testing yourself. It's not in your head unless you keep on repeating it. So every time you add a bit more information, test yourself on the old information as well and see if you've kept it all. Right? That's our first revision technique. Have a go at doing it in class with anything you want. So the teacher can come up with some sort of thing that you could try and learn. There might be something you could learn like in a short bit and see if you can do it. Right. Thanks for listening, guys.